were you not, on a gay cruise.
No, you're 120% dick pic.
Everybody that age, they're sperminator.
Yeah.
We don't care about anything else. We're a walking hard on looking for a hole.
That's. I have to say you're right on that one. Oh, my God.
A stiff breeze comes through the room, and you return the favor.
Got her in. Oh. Somewhere on the outside of this building, there is a hole where squirrels come in.
Better than a hole where dicks come in.
Yeah, better than that.
Going down the stairs to wash the laundry. What the hell? Shh. Pizza. Stop! Stop it now! I order you to stop! I'm still touching myself.
Yeah!
All young bitches want to do is pop pills, smoke weed, get drunk, lay around, suck dick, eat hot Cheetos, charge they phone, get a sew and weave, twerk, be bisexual, eat McDonald's, wash they pussy in the sink, lie, take selfies, and talk shit through Wi-Fi because they phone never on.
I think washing they pussy in the sink is my favorite part. The Vietnamese trade in dongs. Figuratively and literally, I'm sure.
Oh, my God, that's hilarious.
I did decide to look it up. 500,000 dongs is a good night for Pop's ex.
Like most women, he's an emotional thinker.
Good God.
I mean, that's part of the problem we're having now in our society is we have a bunch of emotional thinkers that want the world to, to fall in line with their emotions. That's not... look, reality doesn't give a shit about emotions.
It's my lived truth. Fuck your lived truth.
No, it's not. It's your perspective.
Kiss my ass.
Literally like, hey, Sergeant Pop, you got to turn your bear suit. I'm like, over my dead body. No. Just give me a statement of charges. Yeah. You're never getting this back. Yeah. You can suck it.
I'm going to wear this with my Russian coat.
you will bury me in this. Hey! Why you got to fucking be like that, man?
Because I'm an asshole, and I learned from the best. I'm sitting across from him, and I'm pointing at you with all four fingers.
All right, first of all, the Russian jacket is World War II surplus.
I'll send you a picture of it, Sarge.
Yeah. Okay.
I got you standing wearing it with holding two giant buckets like you just collected all the chum from behind the dump dumpster at the bar, and you're going to go home and make ice cream out of it. Hello and welcome to the 8 o'clock news. I'm your anchor, Cream Paisan. Welcome to Grunt Speak.
Live from the lair.
What's going on, guys? We got Red Pill Rhino and Digital Dave in the house tonight.
What up?
What's up? It's been a long time, man. I missed you. Okay, all right, I'm over it.
All right.
Same old shit, different day.
And listen, the overarching topic of today. Oh,
the hell's that?
Shit off.
Oh no!
Dave's favorite phone sex operator is calling him back. She's star 69, you bro.
Well, the overarching topic is inflation. via Biden and how it's affecting your fellatio market chances.
Inflatio. See, now if we would have come up with that earlier, that would have been the title. Bidenflatio.
Nice.
Dude, come on.
I'm getting a whiff of recession.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good times.
And listen, when it's a recession time, you're not getting your up and down, butt test going. It's just not going to happen. It's too expensive.
So no, I think Rhino is wearing the Deadpool, so people don't see him bleed, and I've got the green pants, which means I have too much iron in my diet. Good times.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good times. It's been a long time since you've seen you, Rhino. I know you've got a lot going on. You got a new job and all that shit, but how are things in Camirado?
Well, they're getting interesting. Fortunately, I'm no longer that far north, but Venezuelan gangs are taking over apartment complexes in Denver. So that's cool.
Right. Yeah.
That's good times.
That's going to end well.
It'll be
Other than
fine.
that, everything down south is pretty good. Just working a lot. I will say that I finally ordered some stuff to do some on location type videos instead of studio stuff. So I've got a gimbal, tripod, the whole lapel mic. So we might be doing some outdoor stuff here going forwd, which would be cool.
Outstanding.
All
I just
right.
realized I don't have my official shirt on now. I gotta grab that. So.
Well, Rhino, if you're going to go cover news stuff, you can cover it live. We can put it on our channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anything spicy comes up, I will definitely let you know.
Live.
Yeah,
from the
I'm
lab.
serious. Like, if you want to go, if those apartment complexes turn into no-go zones,
Mm.
Oh, that's not happening. That's a
film that
conspiracy
shit, man.
theory, Pop.
film that shit.
All right.
If it's
All
a
right.
no-go, go.
If it's a no-go, you go.
That's right.
What in the butt, baby?
I mean, but we've been getting crushed with this inflation. Like, I
Oh,
can't.
yeah.
I used to go to the supermarket, and as soon as I walk in there, it used to be $100.
200 easy
Now
now.
it's $215.
Yeah.
It's doubled.
Now, how's long that lasting you, though?
What was that? What about that? There was that viral video. Dude did the exact same checkout at Walmart, like 1 year apart.
Uh-huh.
It almost quadrupled in price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same exact cart.
Yep.
Yeah. it's like
Oh, but
so
please
weak.
keep telling us it's all in our
Ridiculous.
minds, CNN.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, that needs to stop. Our media industrial complex needs to get broken up. And I think the first shot, the antitrust against Google,
Yeah. Well, that needs to go through.
that was a goddamn broadside by a battleship.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, if
fantastic.
if we actually get a fair election in a few months, we all know how it would turn out if it's fair. Trump, bring back the Smith-Mundt Act, okay? This modernization bullshit that Barry inserted, just like he inserts Michelle's big cock into his mouth into the National Defense Authorization Act. That bad. It legalizes propaganda on our soil. The mainstream media is now allowed to lie to us. Please get rid of it.
That's right. That is unbelievable.
Yeah, they're essentially state-controlled media. And what was it? Oliver Darcy last year on Twitter was like, "Oh yeah, I'm pleased to announce that the White House is coordinating with us to spin economic news." I'm like, you just admitted that we can't trust a fucking word that comes out of CNN now. I mean, like, we've already known that.
They
Yeah.
say it. Just says it. Nobody's paying.
But here's the thing.
Read
There's
the quiet part out loud. Yeah.
but hang on.
Free independent media.
There's so many people in the middle who literally are just oblivious to what's going on.
Oh yeah. Well, they think they can still trust the talking heads on TV.
Yeah.
Do you think it's by choice, or like, do you think people are? Because I think a lot of it's by choice.
It's by choice.
I think it's by choice at this point.
Confirmation
I will
bias.
tell you, even in my own family, I have people that are just like willfully ignorant to the facts and are undecided on who to vote for. Like at this point, if you're just not aware of what's going on, it is absolutely because you're ignoring everything I tell you week
Yep.
after week after week.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, that's why you have people that want to come in and say, "Hey, misinformation and disinformation. We're gonna censor it and arrest you and stuff like
Yep.
that." I mean, it's like
Yeah.
who's dictating this definition?
Yeah, I mean, look at what's going on over in Britain right now. You got this dude who repeatedly snuggle struggled a 12-year-old kid,
Mhm.
got like probation It's slap on the wrist. But if you post something online that they consider problematic, they're kicking your fucking door down.
Yeah.
And that's where I say
That's going to go badly.
Yeah. Britain is an illegitimate government at this point, as far as I'm concerned.
Correct. All right.
Mhm.
We got a gratitude reading we have to do
We
here.
get a gratitude reading. All right.
Now, what I mean by gratitude reading is we saved a guy and he saved another guy.
Yeah.
So we can't take direct credit for it, but this is what I want to see. I want to see it getting paid forward.
It's like we're life-saving wingmen.
Yes.
You know?
I'll take it.
I'll take that too. I feel like I should read this opening line as Christopher Walken. Good evening, taking it balls deep, Blake. Chicken fuck a pop. Also got deflated stiffy dick stroking deersage and ramming old lady flat tire vagina rhino.
Come on.
Wow. How long did it take to come up with just that?
that was good.
Savage beat down.
That was good.
But enough of the funny names. Number 545 is back this time with an Airborne Ranger life saved with Blake and Pop's advice. Almost had to whip out the knife hand. As long as you didn't whip out anything else. If you did, I want to know. I don't want to know.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Derek. He was a ranger around 88 or 89. He said he was there in Egypt when the jellyfish fight occurred, but not present when he was guarding an air base that starts with an S, but I forget the name. Anywho, he's in the hospital. Contact info is in the PSS section below. He had a few things done while I was there. Spinal tap, multiple MRI and CT scans, spinal biopsy. Oh, you poor
Oh, my
bastard.
God.
Steroid injections, brain scans, neurological tests, etc.
This is bad.
You know, the works. All because the base of his spine is unraveling and compressed elsewhere. He told me he has about 3 to 4 properties up here and owns a contracting business, and his third son is a welder making $12K a month. Outstanding.
Excellent.
Now for the dark side. He said he tried to self-throat massage his Varmint 15 rifle and could not bring himself to pull the trigger. Same later on with his neckbeard edition Kimber 10mm and proceeded to then ask me if I thought that he should try his Ithaca model 3712 gauge through the roof of his mouth next. This is where I almost knife-handed him. Instead, again, I used the kid angle and asked if that is how he wants his sons to find him and not even be able to have an open casket funeral for their dad. That'll drive a point home in a hurry.
Yes, it will.
He sighed like a defeated dog and said no, and then proceeded to tell me he's separated from his wife he is still married to, and gave her $750 large when he left Oregon to come to Alaska.
Listen, okay. Oh,
Whoa.
wow. That's a lot of fucking money.
That's a lot of money. He also has lost 160 pounds, being 6'3". He went from 460 to 300, but still has wrist-face disconnect as he was ordering 8 and 9 course meals, making my 2 and 3 course meals look like chump change.
Yeah, he's got to get down to like 250 at a minimum.
Yeah, stop it with the calorie beasting. It doesn't go well for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ask all the body positivity activists who are cashing it in before 33. Anyways, we would usually stay up until 8 a.m. and he would sleep until 5, only waking to order food and eat. That's awful. We found common ground talking about guns and hunting, and at one point I told him to check out Grunt Speak Live. Well, that's about it. I was in for a bone infection in my right foot, and now I'm in contact with 2 separate law firms specializing in malpractice. Long story short, last month I got an incision and drainage after debridement the day before. The day after surgery, the in-resident retarded can't understand normal thinker tossed me out without waiting for the cultures on the wound bed or the piece of bone they removed to come back, just to make more bed space available, which never happened before as I'm prone to infection. Well, against my well-being, they discharged me on doxycycline. Oh, you poor bastard. And a day and a half later, severe stomach cramps, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, off and on chills. My body was going into shock. EMTs gave me shit about calling them and checked my blood sugar because I told them it was spiking, and I took just 12 units of short acting an hour.
It's got to be insulin.
Yeah. Acting an hour before calling normal between 80 and 150. It was 172, and they tried to say it was just the antibiotic. Fuck them, I forced transport. We get to the ER as my vision starts going in and out. They start the typical vampiric quart of blood draws, and the same fucktard EMT that told me to sleep it off, it's just the antibiotics, tells the ER doc that I had 172 blood sugar 15 minutes on their tailgate prior to arrival. ER tech pulling labs turns and says, well, now it's 370.
Oh my God, that is your body is self-destructing from the inside out.
That's bad, right?
Yeah, that's bad.
That's really bad. Wow. ER doc had a look of, oh, really? And the EMT had the deer in headlights, oh, shit look. I said out loud, gotcha, bitch. ER doc just dismissed the EMT and sent me for MRI and CT scans. Fast forward 7:45 p.m. and a resident doc, since I was again admitted, comes in. Says, oh, it's a good thing you came back. I ask, why is that, with a no shit kind of tone? And she says, well, remember the infection you came in for and had surgery on a couple days ago? Well, we just got the culture from the wound bed back, and you have a new to your body, never introduced to you form of antibiotic-resistant bacteria. So we're putting you on IV Levaquin, known as levofloxacin.
Yes.
It's just a skin infection. Next day, same doc comes in. I ask about the piece of bone removed for a culture. Oh! Oh, boy. That showed it's in the bone, too. They only had me on IV antibiotics for 4 days, even though I was given the option
That's bad.
not to go on oral antibiotics. Then they dismissed and disregarded all my concerns about acid reflux and vomiting up their pills, the equivalent of eat shit.
Yep.
Also, I was transported from ER holding under deceit to the 3rd floor orthopedics medical observation instead of 4th floor renal and diabetic care. Mind you, the same 3rd floor I was treated shittily and ejected from earlier. Same in-resident bitch that told me the bone infection was spreading from antibiotic resistance comes in and asks if I feel safe to go home on oral antibiotics. I was only back for 3 days at this point, to which I say, no, I do not feel safe to go home today. Same Karen Quantaha attitude with resting bitch face as the last street walking prostitute that kicked me out before.
Nice.
She says, well, I'm discharging you. I reply, no, you will not until this affection is eradicated. She says, well, I'm signing your discharge papers anyways, and leaves the room.
Uh-huh.
I roll over to the nurse at the bedside computer filling out a report and say, I think I'm going to call my attorney now since this is clearly a violation of protocol policy and procedure. And she says, hold on. Let me go speak with the doctor real quick, and leaves the room. 5 minutes later, enters resting bitch face with a deer in headlights look and says, oh, it looks like we'll keep you overnight.
Uh-huh.
I was there for 5 more days, during which I asked for a transfer to the 4th floor, where I was supposed to have a private room for patient safety, instead of with a spreadable infectious antibiotic-resistant disease was put in the room with another diabetic.
Stand by. All right. So
Wow!
obviously this man has reached bullshit saturation level with the hospital.
And obviously, this is one of those hospitals that still has the sign zip that says, heroes work here.
Yeah. And if you guys are dealing with type 2 diabetes or insulin resistant, send me an email, redonkulas12@gmail.com. I have a whole list of supplements that I used to reduce my insulin resistance and help me lose 30 pounds.
Ugh.
Right. I will second that. A lot of the supplements that Pop was suggesting, I took within a year, reversed the pre-diabetes on my end. So absolutely does work.
Hell yeah, man.
I also strongly encourage going to a ketogenic diet if you're in that situation.
Yeah.
Popcorn is ketogenic.
Indeed.
When you told me that, I was like, no shit. Cool.
Yeah.
Just gorge
know
myself
that.
on that shit.
Oh, okay.
And now it comes full circle. The other diabetic is Derek the Airborne Ranger. Anyways, they give me the runaround. I called 5 attorney places. They all said to go forward with it. One is keeping me on file, so in 6 months when they get their malpractice group up, they can jump on the case, and even referred me to a malpractice specialist their own attorneys use. By the way, I got a retard and resident doc who is British, fully admitting on camera that I could be on IV antibiotics unwittingly, then looking up with that fuck look after I used both medical and legal terms to put the resident team in their place. If I get a decent award, I plan to help fund Grunt Speak Live. I almost forgot. They left me in my own sweat and bacteria for 8 days with an active infection. And the only excuse was that I was mostly independent meanwhile the 4 rails are up so I don't fall out of bed and the bed alarm was active. They also never contacted the head CDC and infectious disease doctor I'm a personal willing lab rat for, probably since they hate how strict she is. I never had a problem with her, and I'm sure would love to hear how her human lab rat operational antibiotics are being treated. Anyhow, eat plenty of Crayola dicks.
This is
P.S. I'm still touching myself.
this is the way it works out. If you're in the hospital
Anyhow,
and they are not bathing you and you can move, get the fuck up,
Yeah.
Walk into the shower and bathe yourself. It's just that simple.
You can give the nurses a golden shower.
Yeah, and like that type 2 diabetes, man,
That's no good.
a lot of guys don't know they have it until it's been around, in their body for 2 to 3 years. And by that time, it's really, really hard to reverse.
Yeah.
But it can be done.
Ugh.
So it is what it is. But you're going to have to basically watch your, wrist face disconnect or, basically.
Tourette's of the elbow.
Yeah, you got to stop the Tourette's of the elbow. You're going to have to get your ass out walking. And you want to get up to about 5 miles a day. Because by the time you get done walking, if you walk 2.5 miles an hour, you cover 5 miles in 2 hours. The first hour, you're going to burn through a lot of that sugar in your bloodstream. And the second hour, you're going to be pulling the sugar out of your liver. And then from there, if you do that every day, you'll reset the clock and you will see your blood sugar trending down. And some of the supplements that I can recommend you, and listen, they're not paying me. They're not sponsors. The shit works. You can actually speed that up and get yourself back in, range, but you're going to have to stay on top of it for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to go right back to the sympathy pool of dumbassery.
Sympathy pool of dumbassery.
Well, a lot of guys, you wind up a type 2 diabetic because you're like,
yeah.
And then you're like, oh, I'm a diabetic. I mean, okay.
And watching what you eat. I mean, it's not just about what you eat. It's about what's in what you eat.
Yeah.
The fact that we have, I don't know how many things that just saturate most of the food that we eat that are illegal in other countries,
Yes.
but the FDA is totally on your side.
Correct.
High fructose corn syrup is literally cancer fuel, and they put it in everything.
You guys know this topic is pretty personal to me. I will flat out tell you, in my experience, now granted, after I shed some pounds and adjusted diet, you can't avoid it, but I will tell you 80% of what you see in the grocery store is poison. And what I mean by that is everything below the neck that's a carbohydrate is sugar. Everything. That's your pastas, your breads, your cereals, everything. If you stick to the dairy, if you stick to the meats, if you stick to the fats and the vegetables, you'll be fine. But the second you go to the inner 80% of the grocery store, you're fucking up already.
Oh, yeah.
Most of my diet is I will usually go to Chipotle and get a burrito bowl. I'll get 2 of them, and I'll eat that for 2 days.
Mexican McDonald's, huh?
No, it's actually not that bad.
It's literally what the McDonald's owns Chipotle.
I know,
if
but
you know
it's actually pretty good ingredients. And then I eat the Mediterranean too.
Yeah,
I do that 3 days a week.
Pop likes his pink goo in Mexico.
The only grievance I have with Mediterranean is fruits. Again, they break down as a sugar. Worst thing you can drink, believe it or not, worse than Gatorade, believe it or not, is fruit juice of any sort. It is just concentrated sugar.
Yeah, eat your fruits, juice your vegetables.
Yeah, and I'll have a shot before I go to bed of apple cider vinegar with some virgin olive oil in it.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
It goes a long way. It unclogs your arteries, and that apple cider vinegar, supercharges your metabolism while you sleep.
Just be careful with anything, any seed oils, stuff like that. That shit'll kill you.
Stay away from seed oil.
Just do apple cider vinegar by itself. That's what I would do.
Olive oil is actually
olive oil is fine.
It's all right? Okay.
Yeah.
I worry about that shit. Now that I know the American Heart Association was literally paid off to shift the blame from seed oils to meat and dairy for heart disease. Meanwhile, over in Europe, highest concentration of saturated fats in their diet in the world, lowest rates of heart disease.
Totally fine.
Some of those fats are
fine.
There's nothing to see here.
I'm going to add a caveat, actually. Olive oil is safe at low temperatures.
Correct.
If you use it to fry or cook, it becomes a trans fat, which is extremely bad for you.
So it's going to cut its own dick off?
It could. And break it off in your ass.
Yes. Let's just leave it at that.
That's horrifying. Let me shift my weight here.
All right.
Feel like I got some olive oil burning back there right now.
Wow.
Bad news bears. I better go wash my ass in the sink.
Let us know in the chat if you have noticed the inflation, in and around your city where you're at.
If you haven't by now, get your eyes checked. Or maybe you just have people going out and doing your shopping for you, in which case it probably doesn't matter to you too much.
And also, we've been demonetized beyond all rhyme and reason. Any money you send us will help us keep the ball rolling. And we appreciate every dollar we get.
Speaking of which, I have to call special attention to this one and throw this one up on the screen preemptively.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Templar Heart on Rumble. $200
Oh, dude,
Rumble
thank
rant.
you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thank
It is Marcus Somerville. He says, "Hey, Angry Bert and not Gay Blake." Oh, gee, thanks. Here from down under with a little something for the booze shelf and gratitude for helping me during COVID when I was stranded in the Philippines.
Yeah, he's that guy.
Royke, yeah, you guys helped him out. We pitched up I think it was a Give Send Go or a GoFundMe. He was trapped in the Philippines during the Kung Flu lockdowns, and you guys kept his head above water. So thank you all very much.
Murphy was sitting him in the taint. He was stuck over there. It's a bad situation.
It's bad, right? It's bad. Mando says, "Who let the Cougar Slayer on the stream?"
What the hell, man?
Just get off him. That's an old joke, man. Let's come up with something new. Make fun of his hat.
No, Pop. Thanks.
He wears red so they don't see him menstruate.
Yeah, you know I'm gonna fuck with you, man. That's the way I roll, man. It's all good.
Oh shit.
Is this why Walls put tampons in the bathroom?
Probably.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Now listen, the fans.
Should we call them AWOLs? Should we call them AWOLs?
Yeah, AWOLs.
We should call them AWOLs. Yeah.
Steve and I are ripping him apart on Tuesday.
They said Iraq and Iran.
Now, I'm going to talk about this real quick now. All right. I never made Sergeant Major because I fell on my sword when I was in E8, and I dropped the hammer on my entire chain of command and all the way up to the Department of Army in regards to the mobilization processes of National Guard troops. And Sergeant Major of the Army, his name escapes me, but at the 100-year Army Reserve reenlistment ceremony in Washington, he shook my hand, looked me in the face, and said, "You're never going to make Sergeant Major." It's Sergeant Major. It was Sergeant Major Preston.
What a dick!
No, it's cool. I mean, I knew the price. It was worth it. I'd do it again. None of my people in my unit got killed, despite the fact that my chain of command rolled over and was more than willing to send people to their deaths, completely ill-equipped and untrained. But that's just the way it goes.
Shit.
So he was a sergeant major, or he was a master sergeant.
Okay.
And they moved him into a sergeant major billet because usually they do that before they promote you up to a 9.
Yep. And then as soon as he heard Iraq, he's like, "Oh, I decided I'm going to run for office."
I know. And then you get the...
But then he still went on talk shows and stuff and insisted that he served years in Iraq. Like, no, now you're officially stolen valor.
Yeah, it's stolen valor. And now...
It's very John Kerry of him. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, if he was just honest about it and said, "Hey, he could blame it on his health. I have some health issues. I just didn't feel confident." And then he stuck by that. That's one thing. But when he's like, "No, I did all this and I did all that," I mean, get the fuck out of here, man.
YF, who just put the large super chat on YouTube, I appreciate it. But so I don't butcher your name, spell it phonetically in your next comment.
Please.
Otherwise, I'm going to call you Yasin Fake Queer. And we'll give you a whole Pride Month.
Yeah, and I mean...
You Kanakistan.
So Steve and I are going to go through a lot of the past vice presidents, and some of them who actually moved up to be president. And we're going to do some comparisons between the one that Harris picked and some of the other ones in the past. And I have no idea why she picked this particular dude, other than the fact that maybe they want to maintain Minnesota.
Hold on.
I think that's really what it is. The reason why she didn't go with Shapiro is because he's a Jew, and she wants to court the far left. And you can't get much further left than AWOLs.
Did she really pick him, though?
Hold on. So he let Minnesota burn to the ground during the Summer of Love.
Yep.
And she let those people back out.
Yep.
So
she contributed to the bail fund and encouraged others to do the same, and he let his state burn.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
I can't imagine how this is going to backfire when they finally debate Trump and Vance.
Wow.
I mean, obviously, they've got such a leg up. That's why they're push polling instead of polling honestly.
What about all the trips to China
Yeah.
and all the economic ties to China too?
That needs to get
That's a
needs
little
to get
concerning.
quashed.
Yeah, it goes back to '89.
Well, here's the thing: when they succeed in tanking this economy, they are all going to be held accountable by the mob who comes.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and this is not like a society like where the Great Depression, where like people like had patience and there wasn't instant gratification and you could go farm. Like everybody is like 10-second, I want it now, and everything comes from the store. It's pretty bad.
Did you see "Come Swallow a Heels Up"? Pull my Harris speaking here yesterday.
No.
Oh my God!
it was awesome.
She was getting heckled by the Gaza protesters, and she fucked it up magnificently. If she does that one more time, the far left is going to abandon her ass.
The left is going to eat itself.
Yeah,
That's what they've been doing.
They're just you can't hate that.
We're
much and
oppressed.
stay
No,
together.
we're more oppressed than you.
All right.
No, we're more oppressed than you.
what was the price of gas in 2020 when Trump left office?
Like $1.80 a gallon.
And what is
$1.99 here.
it's $368 is the average price in Michigan.
Yes.
It's $3.80.
If you go
California standard, it's like
if you
$7.
go south and it's a little more dangerous to get gas, it's a little cheaper.
Well, going down south for gas is always dangerous.
Yeah, if you go into Detroit, you can get your gas for about $3.40 a gallon, but you better have Overwatch.
yeah, you're right. You
get
might
ugly.
risk insurance
out there.
increases.
He said, but I just felt like throwing that up there for fun.
It's all good. But I mean, we've got the price of basic necessities: meat, eggs, milk.
Yeah,
all going up.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a reason for that. There's a reason why the poor kids are now fat.
Mm-hmm.
All right. They want the good stuff to be too expensive, even though it has less of the shit in it that costs money to make. There's a reason for that.
Yep.
Everything that they tell you is bad for you is probably good for you. They just want it for themselves.
Yep.
So what's one way to get people off of meat, dairy, and all that?
It's bad.
Make it so you can't afford it.
Well, you got to also understand, you double the price of gas, you're increasing the price of the freight costs to bring the food in. It's just that simple.
Yacine Fake Queer decided to follow it up with another gigantic donation in Canadian dollars. He said, "It's an Arab name. I give up on spelling it. Have some more beers." Well, thank you very much, good sir. We
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
all the donations. And, of course, you get one of these.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Il Snow says, just lower the ratio of bullshit to fellatio and everything else will sort itself out.
Bullshit to fellatio.
And to Rhino, shout out from Foco.
All right. Right on, man. Up north.
Oh,
Good to-
what's the take on Venezuela?
Well,
Well,
here's the thing. They know that they have stole that election.
Yeah.
And now it's on. And literally the same thing is probably going to happen here.
okay. So to add to that, tomorrow night, you'll see the stream is already posted for tomorrow at 6. I'm going to be talking about that and the UK. There's some spicy stuff breaking out, not to mention Japan's stock market on Monday, which we're behind the 8 ball on that now. But the Black Swan is upon us. That is the title of the video tomorrow.
Nice.
All right.
Natalie Portman, lesbianism. Oh, not that. My bad.
Yeah, if I don't go up north, I might actually tune in on that one. I want to.
All right.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, everybody tune into that one. If you have not yet subscribed to the Red Pill Rhino, links in the Meat Gazer box. Double click it just like you do with your exes.
Wow.
Man upon the precipice.
Jesus.
Pop, have you heard of S2 Underground? I listened to
Yes,
him for
I
a
have.
number of intel concerning national and international news. World tension is increasing.
Yes. Yes. And
But I thought that when Trump was president, we were the butt of the joke.
no, we are, as the entire world, right before World War I in 1914 is the equivalent of where we are in current year. So it's just going to take one or two major things to pop off and somebody's getting nuked.
Yippee.
And it's not looking good for Russia.
No, it's not looking good for Russia.
So
It's not looking good a lot of places right now.
Yeah.
Dixon's cider Should I say it faster? Dixon cider. New research also suggests we should actually consider Alzheimer's, etc., as type 3 diabetes.
Absolutely
I've heard
correct.
Since it appears diet has massive effects upon the entire spectrum of those diseases.
Yes, it does.
Oh, yeah, diet is a huge thing. Spinal health and diet, huge for determining your overall susceptibility to a lot of shit. And what you stick your junk into,
Well, my spine,
protected and not.
my spine is jacked.
Yeah.
I have infantry back.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's when you get up and you're like,
I got paratrooper knees, paratrooper hips, infantry back, and professional fighter, grapefruit upstairs.
but no cauliflower ears, so you
No.
got that going for you, which is
I
nice.
didn't participate in sports where it was actually legal for another man to grind his shit in my face.
Well, that's important.
I don't need that.
The Professional Teabaggers
Well,
Association
first of
thanks you
all-
for your lack of membership.
I don't like to be beaten with the earth.
You don't like to have your clothes folded while you're wearing them.
That's number 2.
Yeah.
And number 3, I will not participate in a sport where it is legal for another man to grind his groin in my face. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
How you like that cup on your mouth, Pop? There you go.
I went to the doctor yesterday and we were talking about, he's just like, so you're a professional fighter, MMA? I go, hell no. I will not participate in any sport where a man can rub his dick in my face legally. And he just starts laughing. But it's totally true. Call me an istophobe idiot. I don't care.
Sports, hobbies, all the above. I don't want another man's junk in my face.
Correct.
Dude, I get weirded out with these cocks in here flying around.
I know, right?
Hey.
Don't do it! Ah!
All right.
Mighty Mouse Malibu says, when I had my bike accident, did a real thorough job checking me out. Said I had 3 broken ribs, no help getting off the gurney in agony. My doc x-rayed me. It turns out I broke 8 ribs, 5 segmented.
That's bad.
Ouch.
That's bad.
Yeah, dude, you like dropped the whole box of China.
I've had broken ribs one time in my life, and that I got that from a world champion, Eddie Butcher, 10th round.
Ooh.
He shattered my ribs in the 2nd round.
I remember you telling me about that fight. Ugh.
But for the 8 weeks after that was absolute misery
yeah.
because I went to the doctor and
Take a
he's
deep
like-
breath.
I went to the doctor and he's just like, what do you want me to do about it? We can't cast your chest. You're just gonna have to work through it. I'll give you some pills for pain, but you're fucked.
Water and Motrin, walk it off.
That's pretty much what he said.
Yep.
Ribs are bad. You don't want to break those.
No. Ken J 1090 sent in Fitty, says, for the war chest, keep dancing, you hairless monkeys.
Well, thank you very much. Let's cover some of this.
Will do.
This
This one I think kind of just introduces the point nice and blunt, not to be confused with Emily. It's now 40% more expensive to be single and dating than it was a decade ago. This was as of 2022, but of course this is Time Magazine, which means that they will address inflation, but they will refuse to assign blame as to where that inflation comes from.
Correct.
And of course we're talking about people dating in Chai Congo, and obviously they didn't vote for more inflation, did they?
Well, first of all, the dating in Chai Congo and New York City and Los Angeles is absolute shit.
Yes.
The women, I can't tell you how many stories we have read about women who moved to New York City to find a man, and only 10 years later, after they ran out of eggs, go back to where they came from.
Smashing into that wall at 0 eggs per hour, man.
Yeah, well, they're getting more balls bounced off them than a basketball court.
Their
True
face.
story.
I mean, there's the wall, and then there's their face in racquetball, just all the balls just
Yep.
bouncing right off. Now, this one I found very interesting. So, I mean, if you're still a relationship guy, this may be interesting for you, but of course, there's always a caveat to any such information like this. Most of this should seem like common sense. So, here's 11 tips, just the tip for dating during inflation. So, yeah, this is interesting. According to a 2023 survey conducted by the Harris Poll Thought Leadership Practice, 70% of singles reported they favor dating activities like hiking over more traditional options, such as going out for drinks or dinner. And I'm sure
That's
half
bullshit.
of those were women sitting there next to people who they were afraid would judge them.
That's absolute bullshit.
44% they're willing to explore virtual dating options. Sure.
Get the hell out.
I'm just saying I don't believe this.
No.
Speaking as someone who has been victimized by a foodie call in the past, I mean, this woman did everything. She baited the hook with spicy photos. We'll call her Jackie because that is her name. I was like, okay, cool. You know, dinner and a movie and then some way, hey, hey, right? No, it was dinner, movie, and bye.
Yep. That's pretty much how it goes.
Disappeared like a fart with the windows down.
I did the whole internet dating thing for about a decade after my divorce. And the few occasions where I'm like, hey, we can just go walk around. Like, it was total.
Oh, yeah.
Killed the mood.
I'm only worth a coffee to you.
Or, no,
I do my makeup. I put on my fake nails. And never mind, your fake nails come out to here.
Yeah.
And you know what that communicates to a man when you have fake nails under that fucking bed? You are useless.
Do shit.
You can't do shit. Exactly. Oh, can you open this for me? Can you do that for me? Can you do this for me? Because I don't want to break my nails.
Yeah.
First of all, they're not your nails. Yeah.
Here's the bottom line. Here's the bottom line, gentlemen. If you're still dating, which these days is still questionable just because of the nature of women, but if you are, a coffee date is like the max you do as a first date. That's like $20 maybe, right? Is anything beyond that? Some of these women, and they figured this out, some of these women are literally surviving in this economy on foodie dates right now.
Exactly.
So we're not going to entertain that shit. Take her to the park to feed the fucking ducks or a coffee or something like that. But do not spend actual money on this woman because most of these women are just trying to get free shit out of you.
You know,
fuck that.
That's right.
You know,
and if she's down to feed the ducks, she might get to feed the geese, if you know what I mean.
You know what would be a great comedy video? You go on a date. You're like, hey, let's go back to my place. Then you have like a chair in front of the kitchen. You're like, all right, begin.
Let us begin.
She's like, what do you mean? Well, there's a pile of dishes. How fast can you do those? And I'm going to time you.
And go.
Wow. And like I used to do the thing because some of these ladies were literally like, so what do you make a year? What, you know, I had one lady like ask me how much my 401k was. And I'm like, okay, name me 3 spices and spaghetti sauce. What is the serving temperature of a pork roast? You know?
I don't know that one myself.
I'm not a slave. It's 160 degrees. Yeah. I'm not a slave. I'm not going to do that. I'll see you later. I'm out.
It's funny that you mentioned that, though, because when you check this next part out here, this one cracks me up. Not all recent dating trends, though intentional, are opportune. 55% of survey respondents also indicated they are willing to have a first date in the privacy of their homes. And, of course, they have to narrow it down. This practice can present safety issues, especially for women.
Listen, I remember growing up in the 80s, and all you heard was like, you know, you don't go anywhere with man alone,
stranger danger.
And now here we are. People are literally meeting people they've never met before online.
Oh yeah,
getting to Ubers.
Yeah, they're just raw dogging it in the back seat of the Uber.
I'm gonna fucking
and they don't even know the Uber.
I'm gonna Uber to my.
I love it.
Date.
JD Vance is weird. Never mind all the dudes I let cream pie me in the back seat of the fucking Uber in the last month alone.
Yeah,
with shared needles.
They need a ride to the airport for a mouth hug with a head bob. We're so fucked.
What is the cost per head bob for just a Starbucks? I'm asking for a friend.
Well, let's see.
Okay.
Well, let's take a look at some of the prices. We do have some information here that we can kind of feed into the computer here. Okay, so here we go. This article right here, and again, everything is here available on redonkulas.com. We're not going to go over everything in depth, but if you want to check out the sources, you go for it. The economics of dating under high inflation. So here we go. How much does the average date cost? $68. So $68. What does that narrow down to?
But normally, it's going to take 3 dates.
Okay, so 3 dates. 3 dates at $68 a piece.
68 times 3 equals.
That's $184.
It's $204.
No, $204. I'm sorry, my bad. I forgot to carry the 2.
Now, if it's just a mouth hug with a head bob, that usually lasts 7 minutes with 30 head bobs per minute. That's 210 head bobs. So we'll take 204 and divide it by 210. It's 97 cents. Per bob.
Keep the change
until completion.
Keep the change in your mouth.
So 100 bobs is still under $100.
Yeah,
it's not a bad deal.
So if I give her 97 cents worth of throat yogurt, does she spit back 3 pennies?
Maybe.
Or I'm just asking.
I'm just saying. So
Rhino's like, what the fuck, Blake?
for economic reasons, let's just say you take her out on the date, $68 divided by 210. You're getting a 32. You're getting a 1/3 discount.
Okay,
32 cents per bob.
So now let's say, how much does the average person spend on dates in 2022? $1,260. So let's
wait, per year?
that is what the average person spent on dates in all of 2022. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we don't know how many times.
Oh, I know. I'm just, but we can bust it down like this. How much did the average respondent's most expensive date cost? $492.
$492.
$492. That's an order of magnitude more than 68.
$492. Let's just divide this by 420. Say he gets to home base. So hang on. 492.
Just a home base.
Divided by 420 pumps equals $1.17 per pump.
Cha-ching. All right.
And
here we go. 83% of men report always paying for the date, while 5% of women report always paying for the date.
That's better.
So I'm guessing the other 12% go Dutch.
I'm going to be honest. I don't even believe that 5%.
Yeah.
In
Well,
my
maybe they're
entire
lesbians.
Life.
They could be lesbians.
Yeah.
All right.
I get it.
I'll give you a bit of advice, just my own personal experience. If you're going to date, which, some of you are, that's fine, whatever. I can't fault you for it, but it's not great right now. Okay.
It's not great.
Least you can do is find somebody that wants to take you on a date. I know, guys, you're really confused by this. Sometimes you think you have to pursue. No, quite the opposite. Women will pursue you if they are interested enough. Those are the only women you should even entertain.
Yeah.
So if he does not want to take you on a date and pay at all, ever. And that's not to say never pay for dates, but if she does not want to take you on a date and pay herself fully, don't even date her, because she's not genuinely interested. A woman will do crazy shit for a guy she actually has desire for.
Yeah.
She will break every rule and ignore every red flag if she desires you.
Exactly.
Boom.
Yeah, she will allow you to play her pussy like a guitar in Van Halen.
I'm not paying. She needs to pay me. I'm in my soft guy.
I'm just saying.
Drizzle, drizzle.
Drizzle.
As long as you don't play the guitar like the Who, pick up that pussy and start smashing speakers with it.
That's how you go to jail.
Yeah, that's how you catch a charge right there. That'd be bad.
It's a $10,000 date.
I didn't mean to cut you off there, but as soon as you were in that role, and I'm like, oh yeah, you know what I'm talking about here. Like you're in my headspace.
Yeah,
I'm serious. That's a $10,000 date and 180 days to get out from underneath that charge.
But Rhino's right though. Just like
drizzle.
like you can the way a woman will treat you, like a woman you chase as opposed to a woman chasing you. They'll treat you differently.
Yeah, they do.
It was weird. I was actually talking with a friend of mine before I came here. A woman, she helps out with weddings and stuff like that my wife and I shoot. And she was saying she actually went on a date with a guy once, and I mean she offered to pay, and he got offended and said that he didn't want to see her anymore. And I told her, I was like, that actually shows me that you were interested. Beyond what he can do for you. He should have taken that as a compliment. Instead, he got all butthurt and ran away.
Well, see,
why?
I'm old school about that kind of stuff. Normally, if I take a woman on a date and she goes, I'll give you some money. I'm like, we'll have none of that.
Well, if you take her on a date, the person who invites should pay.
Yeah,
I agree with that. But again, gentlemen, especially in modern dating and modern women, you need to understand they are looking for the guy that is the 6 figures and 6-pack and 6 inches plus and everything else. So if she's willing to go out of her way to pay for even the little thing like a coffee date, she's interested. Pay attention to that. But if she has no part of that, and you're just supposed to whine. If a woman says, I want to be wined and dined, run. Just fucking run.
So what you're explaining there, Red Pill, is called the curse of the 6s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing, like the first time that I went out with a chick who actually offered to pay for stuff, I was like, this is different.
Yeah.
It feels kind of weird at first, but then you realize, okay, she's doing this because she's truly into me.
Exactly.
And at that point, you're like, okay, I can work with this, because if she's willing to pay when I'm at my worst, she may be supportive, later on. So it was weird, but I did, I got used to it, especially because she was also willing to pay for the lube on the way home.
Nice.
That will also show you if she's interested in your money or not.
Yes.
So just keep that in mind.
Absolutely.
You know what? I don't even care anymore.
Like that one chick who went viral because how dare you take me to the Cheesecake Factory? I'm too good for the Cheesecake Factory. Bitch, I'll eat some fucking cheesecake. He can take me on a date.
Well, first of all, the
Cheesecake
Cheesecake
is
Factory
freaking
used to
good.
be like a destination in Chicago.
Yeah.
It's like a
The food was good.
Yeah.
The portions were good. I mean, it was really, I used to like eating there.
Hey,
And I'm not even a fan of cheesecake.
And men are simple creatures. If you offer to fill our stomach and empty our balls,
Dude, that's like it, man. We're loyal.
that's two out of three. The third one is our peace. If you don't disrupt that, you are in like Flint.
You can get away with so much shit if you do those three things.
Yeah.
Well, the thing
Full,
about
balls empty and peaceful life. That's all you need to do. That's it.
And peaceful life, that encompasses a whole lot of things. It's not just about avoiding nagging, but it's also about respect for boundaries and having separate lives from each other, because no one person can fulfill you entirely.
well,
No.
here's the thing.
That's too much pressure, and that's why women are not
35
happy.
At 35, the E's go down in value and the ings go up. The E's is like titties and pussies. And the ing is, bitching, whining, cheating, stuff like that. As the ings go up, the E's go down.
Yeah, and they justify the ings because you don't communicate. Actually, we communicate just fine. You don't listen.
Well, this is how men communicate. Would you like a hamburger for dinner?
For us, whatever actually means whatever. We don't care. In other words, we trust you with the outcome of whatever it is you're asking us. When women say whatever, pack your shit.
They just open the fight bank.
Son of a
You went
bitch.
hunting 2 years ago. Oh my God! Like, what the fuck? Your mother said I was fat.
Your mother sucks cocks in hell.
I mean, it's like, what the fuck? This is like years ago. The fight bank is full.
Oh, they keep that shit like a Rolodex.
That's amazing. They will keep track of you. They want all white people to feel guilty for slavery from 200 years ago that we had nothing to do with. But if she cheats on you and you bring it up, that was like a million years ago. You gotta get over it. Shut.
They want to be in
Hang on.
charge. They want to be in control. And then when you tell them, hey, pick wherever to eat, they're like,
What you're saying, Red Pill?
I was going to say another thing to pay attention to. I saw it in the comments. I'm not sure who put it in there, but I agree 100%. If a woman is really into you as well, the quality of the date, regardless of the expense of the date, is So whether it's like a really cheap, I'm not saying McDonald's, but whether it's a fucking Chipotle or whether it's a Cheesecake Factory or a steakhouse, as long as you're with her, she's happy. That's a good sign.
Hey,
but
I'll give her.
If she's all about this elitist, I got to go to the best, and I need this, and I get rid of her. That's no good.
If she's not happy while you're not opening your wallet, she doesn't like you.
Gentlemen, pay
Pure
attention.
and simple.
All right. The box has a shelf life of 36 months in any relationship.
Yeah.
All right. So
Allegedly.
if she's a gold digger and you're willing to exchange a little bit of this for a little bit of that, okay, I got it.
And that's why, if you're going to do an LTR thing, you need to wait at least 3 years before even thinking about moving in together. You need to be past the crazy windows and whether or not the box is worn out before you will even consider such a thing.
In today's day and age, I cannot recommend any man let a woman move into his house. You should never get married. It just is what it is, because all it takes is for her to flip out and, flip the bitch switch, call the cops, you catch a case, you're fucked.
Oh, yeah.
It's
and
not
that's
worth
why
it.
that the whole thing about having a date at home made me laugh.
Oh,
I'm like,
my
it's
God.
only dangerous for women? Bull fucking shit. Women aren't getting false rape accusations levied against them.
More dangerous for men, and that's another thing. If you're going to go on a first couple dates, make it in public. Don't do it in private.
Oh, yeah, never.
Yeah.
you're one misunderstanding away from a felony.
Yeah.
That's right.
And like you said, if it doesn't matter what you're doing if it's a good date. I mean, it like you said, doesn't have to be McDonald's, but if you're lucky, you can give her a Happy Meal of her own with some nuggets and some sweet and sour sauce, if you know what I mean.
A first date should be an interview anyway. You should be asking some
that's essentially
filtered
it.
out questions.
Yes and no. It depends on who's interviewing who.
Well,
but
women drop out of the organic box that they're made in with the ability to basically ask you questions and zero in exactly what your net worth is, what your social value is, where you are in the pecking order. Dudes are just like, I like them titties.
Yeah,
I want that in my mouth.
That's why you got to be beyond the pussy blinders if you're going to think about doing anything long term with anyone.
Yes.
Here's another tip, gentlemen. Say less, listen more. That'll tell you all you need to know on the date.
Oh, yeah. Because women love to talk, and if they talk long enough, sooner or later, they will tell on themselves.
Oh, every time.
If there's something to tell on, they will do it.
All right.
So they got here are some more tips. Just the tip.
Just the tip.
Date less, but more strategically. That just sounds like common sense to me.
Right.
Well, yeah, the thing is, the more you date, the more you get this illusion that you're always going to have options. And ladies, especially for you, it doesn't really work out too well in the long term.
Yeah.
Set up a video date. If she agrees to this, that's hilarious by itself.
Well, I mean, sometimes, some women want to do a FaceTime.
That's all fine and dandy.
That's fine and dandy, but it's not technically a date.
No.
Yeah, no.
Stay fairly local. We've talked about the long distance relationship thing.
We covered that with booty call mileage.
Yeah.
Gas prices.
Exactly.
Gas prices alone.
Like,
there you go.
The whole booty. That was like the third video we did, booty call mileage, where I mathematically prove that no matter how hot you are, there is a limit how far that dude's going to drive to hit that shit.
If you're more than 15 miles, I ain't going. I'm just not at this age in inflation.
Maybe I'm the odd man out here, but I would say it's 3 hours max. Anything past that is a no.
If you're in a big state like Texas, 3 hours is like a drive to the neighbors to borrow sugar. There's always that.
I can't do that.
I can't do it.
I'm not driving 3 hours to hit Bush. I'm not doing it.
I agree with this one, but of course, women will get pissy. Keep in-person first dates short. Well, honestly,
there's nothing wrong with that.
You should keep first dates cheap.
Yeah.
How long the date is
that's
really depends on chemistry.
I usually cut them off at an hour.
Well,
what if it's rolling though? What if it's like going well?
Yeah, like when I went on my first date with my wife, we literally we went to a local park and we just shot the shit sitting on the swings until the sun went down and we couldn't stand the fucking mosquitoes anymore, and then we went back.
All right,
but it was hours and hours, and it was cool.
Let me add to this because I see it in the chat as well. The 3 hour rule, that's also, again, if she's willing to drive to you.
Yes.
3 hour max. Keep that.
There's got to be some reciprocity there.
Yeah.
And then I heard the needle slip out of the groove in Pop's head as soon as I used a word with that many syllables.
Yep. 3 hours? Is not
How many bobs per mile are you willing to go? There you go.
Well, when Mandy came to visit, it was like 3 hours of actual coitus. So it was like we matched the drive time.
Bobs per mile.
I need to work on that. That's going to require some thinking.
There you go. And again, these are just like most of these are just common sense. Be mindful of how much the date will cost. Well, no shit, Sherlock.
There's some women out there who,
if you're going into debt, so that you can get a piece of poon, you're dumb twice.
Well, I had a former commander. I used to do his expense reports.
Oh no!
So literally,
did he have dates in his expense reports?
I can't say that.
Not surprising.
But literally, he hands me this folder. He's like, "Pop, I don't have time to do this. Do it for me." And I'm like, "Okay." So I'm going through there. I'm like, "Okay, it's a $300 barbell. Okay, Chicago. Another one for $200." And finally, I'm like, I walk in there. I'm like, "Hey, sir, you got a $2,200 expense that we can't bill off to the Army because this is a lot expensive." He's like, "What's a lot expensive?"
Lack of pussy.
That's exactly what I said. Sir, you're driving all the way to Chicago because you suffer from lack of pussy. You need to get something local. Okay.
I got a $2,200 bar bill for the 70s throwback strip club called the Busy Bush.
So he actually finds a local chick, right? But she's a flapper, not a spinner. So he's treating her like a spinner, and he comes into work and his back is all fucked up.
Now we got to add a chiropractor to the fucking expense
I'm
report.
like, what's going on? He goes, oh, my back is throwing out. I'm like, so yeah. So she's a flapper, and you're trying to make her a spinner. He's like, it's not even.
You can't
funny.
do it. You can't do it. It's bad. This is bad, right? This is bad.
But yeah, I'm serious. He had,
Yeah.
he had a nightmare in credit card debt because he was suffering from LAP.
Guaranteed.
And here's the thing.
Wait.
Pornhub's free. That's the thing.
Corn hub.
But he was still dick thinking. He wasn't 34 yet.
Right.
And I told him that. I'm like, sir, in a couple of years, you're going to look back on this and you're going to go, what the fuck was I thinking? And you were thinking with your dick.
Oh, shit, man. I was 26 when I gave up the whining and dining and 69ing. I just went straight to the 69ing.
That's fine. Yeah. Save some money.
Well, basically, like I laid it all out for him. I'm like, look, at that point in time, I was starting a business.
Yeah.
No one who is starting a business is rolling in dough.
But
no.
And I made that clear. I was like, look, I'm not rolling in dough. If you want fancy dates, it's not going to happen. But I'm willing to spend my time with you. If that's cool with you, come and hang out, whatever. I'll get you some boxed wine and kitty litter, whatever the fuck.
But it's the whole be mindful how much the date costs.
Yeah, I know. And then
the gold digger women don't care.
No, they don't care. They actually equate what you are willing to spend with their own value, which is retarded.
That's why I'm done.
Just like they equate sexual attention from men as being marriageable. They are not the same.
No, they're not.
Have a plan for what you're going to spend before getting to the date and communicate it to your date.
Fair enough.
Well, yeah, you want to meet for a coffee, you want to meet for a drink. You make it clear up front that this is what we're doing. So I get that. If you are a heterosexual couple and you're the guy, be prepared to pick up the tab.
If you ask her out.
This
is current year.
She asks you out, she needs to be prepared to pick up the tab.
Yep.
She asks you out and expects you to pay. Bye-bye.
That's right.
Ghost. Because busting makes you feel good in more ways than one.
Stick to a single destination for the first or early dates.
So just one hole?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no over and under in this.
Yeah, if you're going for all three holes, you're going to an exotic location.
Wait, that's putt-putt golf.
18 holes.
6 women with 3 holes. All hole in one.
Oh, there you go. It's time to put balls in holes.
Those ladies are damaged.
Yes, they are.
Create a dating budget.
Well, most dudes know how to do this right out from the get.
Yeah.
Especially if you have any kind of working knowledge of women nature.
Oh, yeah.
You just like, this is what I got for the date. It is what it is.
And one of the best ways to create a dating budget is if you have 3 first dates in a row, just take some time off. Somebody's fucking up somewhere.
Correct.
Don't do it. Oh, here we go. I actually do this for most things now. Use credit card rewards to defray dating costs. I have the Amazon card, so I get like 5% back on most everything, and I just use it to pay for everybody's Christmas gifts every year.
Oh, okay.
That's actually really smart.
Pay cash for dates.
I usually do that.
You should do that, tipping your servers anyway. So
yeah,
cash is king for all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And final thoughts. Nothing worth having comes without its challenges, including dating. Yes, inflation can complicate an already complicated process like finding viable matches, but it doesn't have to stop you from finding love.
Well, I usually walk around anywhere between $300 to $500 in my wallet. And there's a couple times I pull it out, I'm playing with cash, and the girl's like, well, you carry so much cash. Aren't you afraid somebody's going to take it? I go, they could try.
Yeah, they could try. Yeah.
No, I just say that for kudos. I mean, I'm not a tough guy or nothing.
No, a lot of this stuff though, if you look behind like some of these like articles and whatnot, you can actually see like if people like, especially these younger generations, this goes to show that like we have a really kind of jacked up version of love, and like we equate everything of lust and romantic love, because if anything, this shit right here should want to bring people together, because 2 people combining the resources makes it struggle less. But we have this fucked up version of like romantic love and infatuation that like this shows these long-term relationships, like any type of partnership, it's a fucking business structure.
Well, these women also expect it to be champagne and rainbows for 30 years.
And that's
not how
it's not going to happen. You have 36 months before the hole goes dry.
Yeah.
And if you get married, the minute you inoculate her with wedding cake, there's no more blowjobs and no more put it in my butts. It's done.
Like
the sex is gonna dry up. I don't need to hear that.
I beg to differ.
Stop. I don't want to hear it from you. I'm just saying.
I love giving him shit about it.
I know your wife. She's like a sister to me. I don't want to hear any negative, nasty stuff.
Well, it's fun fucking your sister. What can I say?
Stop. I would actually, if that were to be true, I would pity you.
I would pity me too. I can't imagine you with long hair. The thought of it makes me go a big rubbery one.
She's pissed up. Yeah, I'm not going to go there, but
that's why I will never understand like these dudes who will like hook up with their buddy's sister. It was like, are you genetically attracted to your buddy?
Yeah,
it's a little fucked up, man.
You
got to stick your dick in something that looks like your buddy. It's a little weird.
I've banged a couple dudes.
Guy I know with the sister, it looks exactly like him with long hair, like you're saying.
Listen, if she's got the same schnoz too, she can't even fit a dick in her mouth.
I have banged about 5 or 6 sisters of dudes that were, friends of mine or
bad pop.
That was bad. That was bad.
That's evil pop coming out of the box and in someone else's box.
Only on one occasion.
Only on one occasion. Yeah, you slinging seed like an old bird feeder.
It was usually bad pop.
It's usually bad pop.
Wasn't evil pop.
And then bad pop is just waiting in the bathroom when you're done. I'm so disappointed in you.
Listen, when I get good at video editing, I'm gonna actually have cut-ins of good and evil pop and bad pop.
Well, you got about 20 years before you get to my level. Get to work.
All I need is 1 year to get to the 5th level, and I can do it.
Just keep tinkering with your toys, Pop. No pun intended.
Okay.
It's just bad news bears. Like you said, these ladies, they think this is going to be sunshine and rainbows forever. Well, thanks to their own voting, this is how it's going to be. The impact of Biden's economic agenda may be felt long after his presidency, because that's what happens when you treat the Treasury like your own personal Tinker Toy box.
Yep.
Oh, we'll just print money. What could go wrong?
Well, I also saw in the news that the Fed refuses to lower the interest rates.
I heard they were going to. Yeah, so they walked back the cut.
It's bullshit. They're punishing us for the actions of the bureaucracy.
Well, you have to listen. If you do not want to have hyperinflation, you're going to have higher interest rates for a while. The higher interest rates are a sponge that suck up all the extra cash that's causing the value to go fucking. Yep. It sucks. It does. But this happened in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, they can't really it would cause more problems as they start cutting it.
Yeah.
And then, a year ago. If you actually go through all this crap, you date through the inflation, you find a woman, you just say, I'm going to put a bun in the oven.
Oh, my God.
This is what you have to look forward to. Millennial moms to be are throwing bachelorette parties.
I'm just done, man. Fuck this.
One last fling before the baby arrives.
I sent you this one today.
I know.
This is so wrong.
Now, they're not calling it what it really is, which is
it's
male
before they're married.
Yeah, the male stripper is giving them genital warts so that they can pass it on to their
kids. It's a penis beat down on the baby's head.
Well, because you know how these male strippers are. I mean, women are. If you think men are like pigs when they're around naked women, you haven't seen women around male strippers.
Terrible.
I'm fucking over it.
Go to Pornhub and do a search for bachelorette party, and you will be shocked at the truth of the whole thing.
I played rugby a long time ago. I played rugby, and actually some amateur stuff here locally. And there was a guy. He was a male stripper. And he did the bachelor parties, and this was like 20 some odd years ago, but he would talk he would have 3 nights. He would just be getting random blowjobs from married bitches all the time. I was just like, what the
shit, man? I went to a bar in Royal Oak just to meet up with a friend after I shot a wedding one.
Which bar?
I don't even think it's there anymore. It was over on 4th Street. It was right by the Caribou Coffee where I met you back in the day. Yeah. And I think it was the Rock on 3rd. It might have been 1 street up.
Yeah.
The Rock.
I'm sitting there, and then in comes this bachelorette party. And who starts making eyes at me at the bar? The bride. And I'm sitting there like, left a tip. I'm like, and we're done.
This is how you get shot.
Yeah, that's not what I want. I did a buddy of mine, actually, who's been doing this for way longer than me. He's a circle walker. Nice dude. Why is this like fucking up? Who's fucking with my shit? Oh, you're like throwing me up full screen. I forget. Everybody else has access to this stuff while I'm here. But I'm in this. He's talking to me about. It's like I shot this wedding. You know, I went to a bar afterwards with a buddy of mine. We met up with these two chicks. Took them back to the house. We got in the hot tub. He took one chick in the hot tub. I took the other chick upstairs. Following weekend, he goes to shoot another wedding, and the bride was already dressed when he got there. Like, oh, she's about to come down the stairs. Make sure you get the shot. He's got the shot on the upstairs. She walks out onto the thing, takes one look at him. It was the chick he fucked last weekend. And she looks right at him and goes, and he's like, oh, this ought to be good.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
That is some fucked up serendipity right there.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap.
And I was like, so did you get tipped? He's like, I got tipped the prior weekend. But these women, like, oh yeah, I just want one last date with my girls. Also, girls' night out.
But like these women are about to give birth,
It's
and they're going out to get strange.
It's weird.
One of
It's
them's
just
local.
Weird.
Look at this, Kiara from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Happy veteran of her own Bachelorette happening. Is the first both in her family and her friend group to have a baby at 31.
Yeah.
Gee, I wonder where the tism is coming from. She already enjoyed a bachelorette trip and a baby moon, but Bastian and her pals wanted one final girls' trip before motherhood.
Oh.
Girls' trip with a lot of baby batter.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, if she does girls' trips or girls' vacations or whatever the hell, where it's just her and the ladies, have her shit on the porch when she gets home.
Actually, if it's not your house, leave.
That kid is fucked.
Yeah.
Just like before birth, literally.
Now let's get this straight here. Okay. In current year, with the way the whole dynamics between the sexes is broke down and the way the laws are skewed, there is no upside for a dude to get involved in a woman or a relationship in the West. It's just not. The divorce rates, I mean, remember that there's that one attorney who made that one documentary, and he'd been a divorce lawyer in Hollywood for like 25 years.
So funny.
And he's just like, 56% of the time you're going to get divorced. And 85% of these people who get waylaid in court and get divorced, within 5 years, they're doing it again. What kind of retarded idiot does that?
Modern definition of insanity.
Yeah.
Doing the
Oh my
same thing
God.
over and over. Expecting
It'll work
different
out the
results.
second or third time.
It'll be fine.
I'm going to tell you this right now. If you get married one time and get divorced, you should be done.
You know, in Texas, they actually have a limit on how many times you can get married.
No, I didn't know.
Oh, I found that out recently because my father-in-law just found that out.
Oh, really?
He's like the Elizabeth Taylor of West Texas. He collects wives like Thanos collects Infinity Stones, and he was going to do it again, and they were like, "You're maxed out.
No,
you have too many holes in your punch card. I think we're done here, Gene.
We're done here.
We're
Dean.
done here. Just go home, sleep it off."
What is the limit? 6?
5?
5. Well, that's reasonable.
I had a great uncle. He was married. He died in like the mid 2000s, but he had like 4 or 5 wives.
if you
Like,
get
yeah,
past
it
three,
was fucking weird.
if you get past 3 marriages and still think this is a good idea,
It'll
you
be
might
fine.
be retarded.
She different. She loves me.
It's the rule of halves. I mean, by the time you've been married and divorced 5 times, you're worth like 1/32 of what you'd have been worth if you never got married.
And no one fills up on that much pizza.
My grandfather, he got divorced from my grandma like in the 60s, but like he had girlfriends. Like I remember as a kid, he had girlfriends his whole life, and he would always tell me, "Don't tell so and so about the other one." We go to different ones and shit like that. But like now looking back, and he was an old grunt in World War II. But like now looking back, it's like now I know how the guy spent his money. Like, dude, come on, Grandpa Dave, let's go, man.
Yeah.
Like, but more power to him, you know.
Don't tell. No, don't say that.
Oh, no, just don't be throwing all your money away in the pussy bag.
All right, so
man. It
let's
doesn't
roll
work.
through the rest of the super chats on YouTube.
Will do. I just want to, quick reminder to everybody, new merch shop is up and running. Even though Stream Elements is no longer managing the workshop, the Stream Elements link popping up in the YouTube chat will take you to it. So, check it out. We got the Pop and Blake 2024 merchandise. If you go over here to all products, you got Pop's Beer House stuff with the koozies and the pint glasses, mugs, Redonkulas Regiment patches, stickers, tumblers, hats. Of all different kinds, and we're going to have more designs coming out.
Hell
So
yeah.
check it out. Become a party and guardian just for fun because you can.
Yep.
Designated driver, drunk herder, incident diffuser, and situation fixer not available for grenade duty. Good times.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it's 9:12. You guys have been awesome tonight. Over 600 watching over on the U-boobs. And El Snows wants him some singing pop. I don't have singing pop queued up, but I do have this. And considering tonight's theme, we can always just run with this one.
You do look happy there. You genuinely look happy.
That's because he doesn't know what he's going to be in front of.
The excitement of the unknown.
I had no idea I was going to wind up on the Moorcock boat.
That's how it goes, man.
How many bobs per nautical miles?
I know, right? Yassine Fake Queer from Canada with another $69.99. You love those retail prices. We appreciate you. Some extra for the war chest. Gay YouTube rules won't let me spend more than $500 a day. I'll be back next live.
What?
Well, thank you very much, Fake Queer.
Thank you very much.
Kind.
Marie Saucedo sent in 99 cents. You guys in these retail prices, man. I feel like I'm reading The Price is Right. Alex Patino, if a woman asked me out on a date, I would ask them to cook for me. I want to see their cooking skills. It only happened once in my 40 years of life. That's unfortunate.
Yes.
If you guys see Jeffrey Paul in the chat, just ask him about my wife's chicken and dumpling soup. I'm sure he'll happily regale you with that while he's got just drool leaking out of the corners of his mouth because he still dreams about that shit.
So Pop's got the lasagna, and I'll tell you, enchiladas are fucking buffalo wings. If she can do those right.
I like enchiladas too.
There you go.
You've had my wife's Tex-Mex cooking.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You're a bastard.
I know. Every time I come over here, I'll message him sometimes, be like, "Hey, you want some like jalapeno chicken pasta?" He's like, "Well, fuck you. Of course I'm going to have to eat that." And then I bring it over in a container, and then there's one on top. Like, what are these? Homemade banana bread muffins with chocolate chip. Fuck you! I'm gonna have to eat that. I'm gonna get so fucking fat, man.
I hate to admit
such a dick bringing me home cooking, bro.
No, my ex-mother-in-law, that woman, and my two grandmas and my ex-mother-in-law, those women could cook.
I know.
Oh my, especially they could cook.
My grandmother was a cooking witch, man.
Men will put up with a lot if you can cook well.
Oh yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
That's a balls empty, stomach full. That's 2 out of the 3. If you do not affect our peace, we might consider keeping you around for a while.
I mean, you might actually overlook a bad case of HCC, habitual car crashing.
Oh God, no,
dude.
No.
I know a woman who, I shit you not, totaled 3 cars before she was of drinking age.
Yep.
What the?
That's habitual car crash.
Yeah. I remember the first time I got into a car with her, because I invited her to this movie that was only playing in like some podunk fucking theater, and it was very podunk when I got there, like to the point where I'm like, I paid for this. What the shit is this? But she's like, oh, I'll drive. Never again.
I dated a girl, and I know it's not the best car in the world, but I loved it. It was a manual. It was a little peppy thing, but she totaled her car. So she wanted to borrow my car to get to work for a while because I had like 2-3 cars at the time. So I'm like, sure, why not? But I loved it. And I know you guys are going to harp on me for this, but it was a Altima, but it had the sunroof and it was a stick shift. So it was quick.
Yeah, I got you.
She slammed that into 5 cars.
Oh, or did 5 cars slam into her?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That usually leads to a breakup every time. 60% of the time, it works every time.
I don't know, man, but that HCCI is a real thing.
Yeah, man, habitual car crasher. I mean, and in the time of inflation, you literally cannot afford a woman who can't drive.
Or if she suffers from a bad case of NBP.
Good luck, everybody else.
That NBP is non-bill payer.
Oh.
Yeah, because that's all kinds of fun and games.
And then the ones who, if they drink or they gamble.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Is that, like, if they drink, if a woman tells me she likes wine, I'm
No.
out because I know that fucking dinner bill is going to be at least $70 fucking higher because she's going to want her
Dude.
stupid fucking Merlot to feel good.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
no,
not even
no
that.
thanks.
It's not even that. Okay,
Oh,
so
I
this
got a
is a
story for
rhino.
you.
This is a rhino.
hang on.
Oh,
Wait,
you
he's
go
got a
ahead. No,
story.
he's up first. Rhino's up first.
All right, Rhino,
Yeah.
finish.
I'm just telling you, I've dated women that like to drink, and it never just stops at one. And
Nope.
there's okay. So here's my experience. Yeah, are the women fun when they drink? Sure, fine, whatever. But are they also psychotic and crazy and will ruin your life when they drink? Also, yes. If she's an alcoholic or even hints at being an alcoholic, fucking run.
Oh,
Trust me.
dude.
on that.
Dude, you know, every once in a while you'll have like a friends with benefits situation, right? And you may reconnect down the road and reminisce a little bit sometimes. You know, if it was something
Not
that
a good
ended,
idea.
it's never a good idea. But if it ends amicably and you can still be on a friendly, but I'm not saying it's a good idea, faggot. Okay, I'm trying to talk. All right, but like this person reappeared in my life, and she said that the reason why, like, she remembers me so fondly is because she actually remembered.
Oh,
And it was because she freely admitted that she was like almost always intoxicated for every other hookup that she's ever. Exactly. I'm like, wow.
So she will never know intimacy.
You could not have convinced me to run away from you faster if you like covered your whole house with a plastic sheet and set up a half-mile military perimeter warning people of an anthrax attack. Bad.
that's not good.
God.
She might have thought she was complimenting you. That was probably
No.
the scary
I
part.
was like, wow. This is what I say about women. If you let them talk, they will tell on themselves if there's something to tell on. And oh yeah, she was more than willing.
That's absolutely true.
Yep.
Remembered.
But you mentioned gambling. We're actually, a buddy of mine wants to come on a call-in show at some point, anonymously, of course, because this is still currently in litigation, talking about his soon-to-be ex-wife's gambling problems. He went over this with a lawyer and a financial advisor. Their total monthly expenses were around $3,000. She was gambling away or smoking or drinking an additional $5,000 to $6,000 a month.
So she had a bad problem with and nah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she was trying to convince him that she was cheating because for some reason, it wouldn't have been easier to explain. I think she was hoping for the nuclear option, if you know what I mean, pissing him off to the point where he would give her a little
the
chin
piss.
music so she could get the nuclear win.
Yep.
Men aren't falling for that stuff anymore, though.
No.
They're not, and it's dry. It's throwing wrenches into the game plans. Of those
They hate
chicks.
the fact that you're wise to this shit.
Oh, dude, they it pisses them off.
Well, yeah, that's why they
good.
shame us instead of acknowledging our arguments when we bring up these points. It's easier to ask, who hurt you? Are you gay? Do you have a small penis? Do you hate your mother? All this other bullshit because
Small
they
dick energy.
cannot
Yeah.
win on the facts.
Because,
right.
but when you're unalive inside, none of that shaming works.
That's right. Listen, man, when I went to Iraq, I died there, and I'm just waiting for the funeral.
Exactly. Like, it's just like a walking thing. Like, what's going on here?
Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, I'm still here.
It's not a dream.
Coming soon to AMC, The Walking Pop.
Walking.
But I'm serious. I talk to all kinds of vets that feel exactly the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. My daughter's really like one of the things that gave me like anything is outside of that. Like even like and you know this, like I mean, like it's been so long, but like people go in other ways, and then like those with other people, that's just hard to just completely different mindsets and priorities.
The only joy that I have left in my life is putting numbers on this board.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's called purpose, and I've said that you've talked about that. The biggest thing in life is like for any type of like mental or emotional health, it's like being able to find purpose.
Yeah.
You know, like you gotta find a reason.
A man who doesn't have purpose will slowly die inside.
Like before I went to Iraq, I had all kinds of joy. I like to do all kinds of stuff. And then I went to Iraq and had to fucking with all that horrible, evil shit. And it just all died.
Dead.
And it didn't help that my ex-wife killed my dog.
That's bad,
right?
Yeah, that's fucking
yeah.
And that's sadisticness.
I'm never gonna get over that, bro.
But here's the thing: you can like you have people now doing TikTok things to get people who abuse animals thrown in prison, and when you go and unalive of family pets specifically to inflict emotional pain.
That's a
Nothing
whole
happens.
new evil,
Yep.
man.
And that's why I say walk
Hang on,
the fuck away.
What you're saying, Red Pill?
I will tell you, Pop. I'll give it to you because the connection I've had with the pets that I've had in my life, if somebody would have done that, I probably wouldn't be on the show. I'd be locked up because I got to tell you, I give it to you there because that's something I couldn't come back from.
Yep.
You know,
I remember because like when she said that to me, I'm just like, and when she said, "I told you I didn't want you living here," and in my mind, I'm like, "This is why chicks get punched. This is why chicks get punched." And I heard good pop about face. Forward march. Just walked out of the house.
That's like Bill Burr said. Like, so there's no reason to hit a woman. Fuck you. There's plenty of good reasons. Doesn't mean you should do it, but there's definitely reasons.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes the reason to not do it is solely because of jail. Not morality, not because she's a woman, but simply because of jail.
Here's the overarching reason for this particular show. There's a lot of guys out there who are spending a boatload of money on women that are not worthy of your money or your time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
And we've talked, that's what we talked about tonight.
I am not trying to tell you, listen, you're never going to catch me like, hey, this is how you get a woman and this is how you keep a woman. Obviously, I can't do that. Okay? I'm not that guy. I'm the guy who looks at shit and goes, that's going to blow up in your face.
This would be bad, right?
You're going to get sucked into that Bermuda Triangle and lose all your shit. Right. If you get with this woman, you just might, start a high velocity blowjob machine in a bad way.
High velocity blowjob machine.
Yeah, you don't need that.
Woo, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Glory hole with blood spatter. That's no good.
oh my God, man.
What? Somebody called Dexter.
That's right.
Yeah.
Glory hole with buds. That's
blood splatter. That is new.
It's either that or you just like your Red Wings.
Oh,
there are some dudes who are into that.
That's nasty.
There are not dudes who are in that. There are some reptilian things that do that. I don't know
some
any human that would do it.
Some dudes who are unironically into Twilight. Might be into that.
Those are not dudes. They're trans.
Hang on. If you listen carefully while they're flipping the pages, you can hear soy.
Damn. Yep.
All right. One last super chat over on YouTube. We'll take a quick break here. We got Eye of Memes sent in 10. It says, on Google, they will always put coof in search suggestions, even if you're incognito. Google, it's been 4 years. It's an unalived horse. Stop spamming coof and move on already. My God. Yeah, 4 years, but we still have to hear about the coof. Meanwhile, it hasn't even been a month since a former and probably future president got shot at, and we're just going to pretend like it never happened.
Correct.
It was just loud popping noises. He was afraid of the fireworks.
It was hit with broken glass.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Smurf my balls.
Yeah. All the way
First
down
ones
to
where
the
they
hills.
said he set it up. That was my favorite.
Oh, yeah, that's my personal favorite,
this isn't dance,
Meanwhile, Alex
stars.
Jones is like, are we allowed to do that now?
Speaking of which, I'm just going to put this out there really quick, Alex Jones style. It's just funny to me how everything was going according to plan until that particular instance failed, and the only solution they had was the nuclear option to throw Come Swallow Me Harris into the position and make Biden disappear into a suitcase into the ocean somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
You notice they don't talk about him at all anymore?
Yeah, I know.
It's like he doesn't exist.
I think it's funny. I think it's funny that the Supreme Court ruled of that presidential immunity. Then they try to take him out. Biden goes, and then CrowdStrike goes. I think they were trying to set most of it up and have Kamala in to have CrowdStrike go and implement something, and it went haywire because they missed.
Oops.
Yep. All right, so we're ready to go to
never give a soy boy a sniper rifle.
Soy boy.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here. Go empty your bladders, refill your menageries, and we'll see you over on New Tech with some fucked up and funny submissions and the rest of your spicy super chats. See you in a bit.
All right.